Suikoden is a world filled with many mysteries, from the unknown origins of the true runes, to mysterious characters like Jean, Vicky, Uber, Pesmorga and Hikusak, to the ancient Sindar people and the ancient Armas dynasty, to unfinished stories and open-ended character backgrounds. Fans can't help but speculate and form theories about these mysteries. One of those mysteries and theories fans like to speculate about is the Crowley and Mazus reincarnation theory. This theory is an interesting one. Crowley and Mazus are two of the most famed sorcerers in the Suikoden world. Mazus was a student of Crowley, and at some point, bursting with self-confidence and wishing to surpass his teacher, Mazus challenged Crowley to a magical duel. The duel took place in the solar year 340, in the Senon region, a land that lies northwest of the Scarlet Moon Empire, now known as the Tauren Republic, and south of South Window of the city-states of Joustin. There Crowley and Mazus fought, unleashing such devastating magical power that they destroyed 3 mountains and a lake. The resulting destruction caused it to rain for several days, and changed the landscape into what is now known as the Caracas Desert and the Badlands. Both Crowley and Mazus were killed during the duel from the destructive force of their magic. So what does this duel have to do with reincarnation? Why do people believe Crowley and Mazus reincarnated? Well, the duel took place in the solar year 340. However, Crowley wasn't born until the solar year 345, 5 years after the duel took place. And Mazus wasn't born until the solar year 374, 34 years after the duel took place. So how is this duel possible? How did they fight one another before they were even born? Suikoden has no known or recorded events of reincarnation throughout any of the games or novels, so why do people think it's reincarnation? To answer that, let's take a look at the lives of Crowley and Mazus. Crowley has an ambitious goal in life, a goal he has dedicated his entire life to accomplishing. He wants to attain power equal to or greater than the power of the true runes, and he wants to do it without the use of a true rune. He spends his days honing his skills, rigorously training and extensively researching runes and magic. He claims to have 100 runes embedded into his body. Even the best mages in the games are unable to equip more than 3 runes. Quite the feat that sets him apart from everyone else. With Mazus being Crowley's first apprentice and desiring to surpass his teacher, it would be safe to assume that he shared the same desires as Crowley. In Suikoden 1, Old Book Volume 2, titled Ancient Teachings, credits the great ancient magician Crowley with the discovery of rune magic unite attacks. Old Book Volume 2, Ancient Teachings. At certain times, the runes can give men immense powers. The power they provide is magic. Each rune provides 4 magical powers, but the great ancient magician Crowley found a method of surpassing teachings. If 2 souls are united, 2 runes are united, and their ultimate power is unleashed, a power greater than the sum of the parts is generated. The union of souls means that 2 rune masters apply their magic almost at the same time. The union of runes refers to harmony. In other words, fire and earth, earth and wind, wind and water, water and lightning, lightning and fire are all harmonious. Ultimate power means the release of the maximum rune magic. When 3 of these powers are combined, the greatest of magical powers is unleashed. But this is not all. In Suikoden 5, which takes place 6 years before the events of the first game, there is another book about rune magic unite attacks. Old Book Volume 10, titled Unite Magic. The difference between this book and Old Book Volume 2 from Suikoden 1 is that this book is written in first person. The author is sharing their discoveries and thoughts. Old Book Volume 10, Unite Magic. In the process of researching rune magic, I discovered a powerful advanced class of magic achieved through the simultaneous use of multiple runes. Here's an outline of what I discovered. First of all, this phenomenon only occurs when the advanced forms of the 5 basic elemental runes are used. These advanced forms of runes are the Rage, Thunder, Flowing, Cyclone, and Mother Earth runes. 2 magic users must each possess one of these 5 runes, and they have to cast the same level magic at the same time. Their magic interacts and produces a powerful effect. However, not just any of these 2 runes will work. The combinations are actually quite limited. Rage and Thunder, Flame Array, Thunder and Flowing, Thunder God, Flowing and Cyclone, Water Dragon, Cyclone and Mother Earth, Fierce Wind Fang, Mother Earth and Rage, Scorched Earth. Alas, I couldn't find any other combination besides these 5 that produced Unite magic. It should be obvious, but I would still like to add that the higher the level of magic the 2 magic users cast, the more powerful the Unite magic will be. And this is just speculation, but I wonder if the same phenomenon is produced by combining the Dawn rune and Twilight rune. If I somehow ever manage to get a hold of those 2 runes, I'd love to test that theory. Unfortunately, there's no name attached to the book. Could this book be Crowley's personal journal that he left behind? Although this book is automatically unlocked once you reach HQ level 2 and you recruit Levi, so there is the possibility it could be Levi's journal. Sadly, we're given no exact dates or authors on these old books, so we're going to go on the assumption that these are in fact, as the game puts it, old books. And the reason for that is because in Suikoden 4, which takes place in the solar year 306 and 307, magic rune unite attacks are already known. That's 149 years before the events of Suikoden 1. 34 years before the duel between Crowley and Mazus happened. 38 to 39 years before Crowley was born, and 67 to 68 years before Mazus was born. So these magic unite attacks would have had to have been discovered far before the events of Suikoden 4. Is this a case of several mages, sorcerers and researchers, completely independent of one another and in different parts of the world, discovering the same thing at different times? Or perhaps he did discover the key to reincarnation? As I mentioned earlier, Crowley's life goal was to achieve power equal to or greater than that of a true rune, and one of the powers a true rune grants its bearer is immortality. It's a little more complicated than that, but essentially a true rune bearer becomes ageless. An example of a possible ageless character might be Simeon from Suikoden Tactics, a very powerful sorcerer that is far older than he appears. Tales and stories of his healing powers far outdate that of his physical appearance. He may have discovered the key to agelessness. Perhaps during Crowley and Mazus's magical experiments, they weren't able to achieve agelessness like Simeon seemingly has. But what if they did discover the key to reincarnation? The true ending of Suikoden 3 showed us that Luke and Sarah's souls lived on, and even visited Leknat after their deaths. Could Crowley and Mazus have discovered not only a way for their souls to live on after their deaths, but a way to transfer their souls and consciousness into another body, or that of an unborn child, allowing them to reincarnate, or possibly rebirth, making their birth years from Suikoden 1 and 2 not their original date of births, but rather their most recent reincarnations? Vicky has appeared in all 5 of the mainline games by accidentally teleporting herself through time. Despite the games taking place over a period of 169 years, she's listed as 16 years old in each game. In Suikoden 3, we encounter 2 versions of Vicky, a 16-year-old Vicky and a younger 7-year-old Vicky. The younger Vicky even seems fully aware of when and where her older self is about to appear. And in Suikoden 2, Vicky, along with Nash, Millie and Meg, would teleport back in time into the Twilight Forest ruins in Falena, where they would crash through the ceiling of the ruins where Lorelei and Kille were trapped. This is the collapsed ceiling we see when exploring the ruins during Suikoden 5. According to Oboro's investigations, and her bat scenes with Lorelei, Vicky has no recollection of this happening. The reason she doesn't remember it happening is because it was Vicky from 11 years in the future after the events of Suikoden 2 that had rescued Lorelei and Kille, and not the Vicky present during Suikoden 5. So perhaps it was Vicky who accidentally sent Crowley and Mazus back in time to before their births. Alternatively, Crowley and Mazus may have sent themselves back in time. If a ditzy, airheaded Vicky is accidentally travelling through time whenever she sneezes, and her teleportation powers come from her blinking rune, could Crowley and Mazus have mastered the rune and tapped into its true potential? Could they have discovered how to freely travel through time using the rune? What do you think? Did Konami make a mistake with the timeline? Did Crowley and Mazus discover the key to reincarnation or rebirth? Was it Vicky who was responsible for accidentally sending them into the past? Did they unlock the true power of the blinking rune and learn to travel through time? Or maybe you have another theory about how this duel is possible. If you do, I'd love to read about it in the comments below. Sadly, nothing about this theory can currently be proven or disproven, and all we can do is speculate. How their duel was possible, well, that's for you to decide.